Hey, it's Pink Buddha, and for this episode of Force Fridays, we're going to talk about clip launching, because launching clips is really the most dynamic and powerful aspect of the Force. And we're going to cover 3 different levels, from noob to intermediate to advanced. All right, so let's jump on in. Now, at the most basic level, we have row launching, which is to hit this button on the right-hand side to trigger all the clips in a particular row. Now, basic is probably not the right word for it because I use this all the time. I just say it's beginner because it's the easiest one to do. Now, another beginner trick would be using this clip stop at the bottom. If you hit one of these buttons, it makes any clips in that row stop. And then finally, the stop all, which is like a panic button where you just hit it and everything will stop. Okay, so at the intermediate level, you still have row launching. Like I said, I use it all the time, but now you might move into triggering individual clips that are outside of that row, kind of like what I'm doing here. In last week's Force Friday video, where I was using the Force with the new Take 5, if you missed it, you can click up here. I was specifically setting up these 3 clips here that had 808s tuned to certain notes so that in my live performance, I could choose what chord to play with the right hand and then trigger the right bass note by which clip I picked with my left hand. Now, if you like where this is going, be sure that you subscribe so you catch the next Force Friday video, and also check out this playlist of all things Force related. There's a link to that playlist in the description and the comments below. All right, so we're at the pro level for launching clips. The first one I want to talk about is launch mode. And you get to control the launch mode by going to clip, and it's right over here on the right. You can choose between trigger or toggle. Now, trigger is like the normal one that it's automatically set for. So when you hit the clip, it's going to start playing. Toggle allows you to be able to hit it to turn it off. It's kind of like using clip stop on the bottom here, but maybe you don't want to use this dedicated row down here for clip stops. You might want to use it for muting or something else. I have this particular clip right here set to toggle. So it's going to continue to keep looping until I hit it again. Okay, the next pro technique is about clip-specific launch quantization, which is about when you hit this clip, how soon does it start playing. By default, it is set to global. And global is whatever you have set by hitting shift and these buttons down below. I have it now set to 1 bar. And you can individually override the global setting by going here to the clip and then setting it to something else. Now, why would you want to change the launch quantization? Well, let me demonstrate with the same clip that has the ride symbol. Now, the launch quantization here is set to 1/8 note, and here's what that allows me to do. So that will either make the ride play on the beat or it will be offset, depending on when I trigger the clip. This is on the beat as the clip is set right now. Well, I have it set to toggle here, so I want to come back around. The other reason you might want to change the launch quantization is if you want something to be played immediately, almost like a one-shot, like you're using the samples down here. And they play whenever you hit them. You can do the same thing on the clips. Let me show you. So I have this one set up here. I just set up a 1 hit, and then I turned off the loop button here, which is actually the last pro technique that I want to talk about. So this will either loop it or not loop it. So now it acts like a one-shot. And I made all 3 of these clips in the same manner so I can kind of jump back and forth between them. And with launch quantization off, they'll play whenever you hit the pad. Now, a warning here about launch quantization, that if you turn it off, it's going to play right when you hit it. So it's probably not a good choice for anything that is like a rhythmical loop that you need to be in sync with other parts. So one thing that I did here on this particular clip is that I put in a quick fill and I set that to 16th note. So it's still going to be on the beat whenever I hit it, but it allows me to be a little bit quicker about when I'm launching it. Now, one thing I might recommend, because this ends up being a lot of playable stuff that's going on, is to have clips with one-shots and longer patterns on the same track. For example, I could record down here a longer pattern. So now I can actively play my one shots up here, but then trigger this clip so my hands are free to do other things like turn knobs. So again, the pro mode is changing the launch mode for clips to change the launch quantization, and then to turn the loops off so that you have more of like a one-shot situation going on. All right, that's a wrap. I hope this has been helpful for you in terms of like learning how to use clips better on the Force. I'll catch you next time.